Autism is not a disability, it's just a different kind of ability. And today our guest is going to give us her first-hand experience with autism, so stay right there. The show is about to begin. Welcome to Unscripted with me, Grace, from the lovely Radisson Blu Arboretum. Karibu.
Hi, my name is Anne Angasa. I'm telling my story on undiagnosed adult autistic, and I actually sat and wrote the whole story in a book so that it would be easy to tell, because you know when you want to tell this and that, you might forget a few things here and there. And I came out with my story because it's hard to tell the story, especially in an African setting where we know that autism is a Western thing, and also we know autism as some deformities and things like that. So my story is different, and that's why I want to tell it, and I want to show the milestones that I've come, how far I've come, though people think autism is sort of like a death sentence or some sort of a prison you cannot come out of. So this is my story.
Hi, welcome to Unscripted with me, Grace. Thank you for tuning in. With me today is our dear Anne. Welcome to Unscripted.
Thank you.
So tell us why you're here today, Anne.
I'm here to tell my story on undiagnosed adult autism.
Tell me about adult autism.
We're calling it adult autism because many people think autism is a child thing, so they forget these kids get to grow up.
That's true.
Yeah. So people wonder when they grow up, where do they go? When
did you realize you have it?
That was May 2020, last year.
Just last year?
Yes.
What triggered? What led to that realization?
I've had sort of like a hard childhood where you have people think you as weird or odd. So like you'll go somewhere and you're always trying to fit in. Yeah, in every other thing you're doing. How you dress, how you act, which games you want to play. So I was looking for an answer all this time. So I think 2020 just happened, and I was in the house, and there was much time in my hands to research the whole internet if I wanted to. I was looking at just random psychology videos on YouTube, you know, and then I landed on this one that talked about being shy, being weird, and being lazy at the same time, the three at a go. Okay. So I watched the whole video and I'm like, wait, sounds familiar. I watch it again. And I'm like, yeah, it's time to look this autism up.
So what led to that conclusion?
There is a test online, it's called an AQ test, where you get to answer 50 questions. If you have 33 and above, then there's a likelihood chance that you're autistic. So I go through the test, and I watch as many other videos as possible, especially from professionals, so that I don't have a conclusion that is, that is wrong.
Did you actually speak to a professional?
No. I couldn't afford it.
I see.
Yeah.
So after the diagnosis, what was that moment like for you?
I'm like, finally.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm like, this is it. I finally put a finger on it.
Tell me about your childhood. Why do you feel you were different? Tell me more.
Like guys are playing and then you want to join in and they're like, no, at a Kwingishi game, and then you're like, oh, why, you know? So you realize you're not good at that game, so they don't want you in their team because you're going to make them lose. And there are games I wasn't really good at, but because every other person is playing, you also want to just join in so that you're like part of the rest, you know? Yeah. And I would really be good at playing with boys. It was easy. Boys, it was easier. Boys would just, you know, let you be. They didn't have time to discriminate and things like that.
As a child, did you understand what's happening? Why people are treating you differently? Of course not.
No, I didn't. I was just like, why did I have to be different? Because I felt it. I felt it right from home. Yeah, because I actually have a whole chapter on how it felt like to be at home, being different.
Tell me about that.
Like, sort of like you're the only one studying at the table, guys are watching a movie that is not interesting to me, or people want to go somewhere, I feel like I don't see why we should go there. Or we're having some relatives over and everyone is like, nice to see so and so and so. I'm like, when are they going to be leaving? Because they're giving me that anxiety.
How was life in school?
School was terrible,
Yeah.
but I guess I took much time to work, to like study, to make my grades and things like that. So I did not really feel that off, because I was like, let me just focus on school. Let me focus on my marks at the end of the day.
Tell me more about the symptoms. If someone is at home watching and like you said, you did a test, how can you determine indeed I am autistic? How did you come to that conclusion?
There is a diagnostic manual. There is now a volume 5 where they have these psychological disorders, mental disorders all together in there. Because, you know, it's not like you're going to have an x-ray or a blood test. So you get a professional to like do a checkup for you. Okay. And then after a series of sessions, they'll get to tell you if you're autistic or not. So according to them, there's about 6 or 7. So you should at least have 4, you know. Okay. There is that sort of like a constellation. There should be a number going together. Okay. So you shouldn't be like, you have one and like, I'm autistic. No. So you have to have like a series. So usually it's social behavior, like how someone acts in their social life. It's a bit difficult. You don't understand what someone needs you to do next. So that when you get to ask people like, why are you asking something that is so obvious like that? Because they want you to pick up a cue.
Social cues.
Yeah. So that could be hard. And then there is repetitive behavior, like. If I like a song, I can listen to it even 7 times. Like it's just playing and then it's on repeat mode. Okay. You know, especially when you live alone, sort of problem. Okay. Yeah. Or if you're using your earphones. Yeah. So yeah, there's repetitive behavior, like how someone gets to do something over and over again because it's calming them, or they just love it. They can't explain it. Yeah. So, and then there is communication challenges. Like I want to tell someone something, but I don't know how they're going to react, or I don't know how I'm supposed to tell them. So I get stuck in between there. So you have those communication issues, and communication issues tend to flow over to relationships. So you find your relationships, it's a lot of work. Yeah. So you find autistics who are single most of the time because it's really hard to keep a relationship. You're like, I'm not going through all that.
So before you even came to this conclusion, how's the journey been like for you? How are you coping all those years with all this happening, but you don't know what's going on?
There's what we call masking in autism. Masking is where just a random, like you can put a mask on, yeah? And then you're a clown, but then you remove your mask and you're back to Anne, you know? So masking is where you just do what other people are doing.
What you're supposed to do.
Yeah. Like now, being expected to be a girl, so I look at what other girls are doing, and then I do exactly what they're doing. So you keep doing that, and it becomes the other you. So I think with autism, especially adult autism that is undiagnosed, you get to be 2 people. Yeah. There is the people I put out when I don't want trouble, when I don't want a lot of issues. And then there is now me when I get back to my house. I'm like, you're home.
The challenges growing up, not being you. What have been the challenges for you?
Like right now, I can't undo the masking totally. Like I can't undo all the masking. Maybe I can a little bit. Some bits I'll be like, I want to do that anymore. Because maybe also because I'm an adult right now and can make my own decisions.
So how is, in light, or rather after discovering your truth or the reality last year, how did that change for you? Also, like
I sort of like had a new me. Really? All of a sudden. Yeah. I was like, okay, going forward, we do it Anne's way. Going forward, reduce people pleasing. Going forward, if it's a no, it's a no. Okay. However much someone goes, please and please, if I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it. And sort of like I changed how I dress last year. Really? Like it just happened. I was like, hey, no more this, no more that, no more the other. Like I don't wear short skirts anymore. Like I was just like, give them all away. So I give away all my short skirts. I wear long skirts because I have to wear a skirt going to church. Okay. I have to wear a long dress going to church. Otherwise, there's no way. I want to be comfortable going to church in a trouser That's not me. Okay. Yeah. So I changed my wardrobe. That was the first thing I did.
Okay.
And then my hair, I was like, no more braids.
Okay.
The things that I was just doing for the sake of fitting in, I was like, it's done.
So how do you feel now, Anne 2.0, this new chapter of Anne, how do you feel?
I really feel great, especially employment-wise. You know, it was hard to get a job because how to keep it and all that. You're doing your best, you're giving it 101%, but your boss doesn't see it. So I was like, if I get a diagnosis, an official, you know, you need the paper for you to get accommodations at work. So if I get that, then I'm able to get a job.
So did that help?
Not yet. Like, I haven't gotten the official diagnosis yet, but I'm saying if I get it.
Are you working on it?
Yeah, I'm working on it. I just wanted to finish the book because I was still writing the book. Okay, I got the realization that I was autistic. Then I started writing the book like 2 months later.
Wow.
Yeah, so when I started writing the book, that was late August last year. So when I started writing it, there were challenges like you have to take it to the editor, you have to do all that, all that. And especially when it's self-publishing, you know. I was afraid if I took it to the traditional publisher, they're going to slash a lot of my work. And I was like, no, don't slash it. So I had to do it myself. Okay. So I had to finish fast so that I can go to the diagnosis because I didn't want to be distracted. You can easily get distracted.
I see.
You're doing many things at a go. There is surviving. We haven't had COVID before. So that was a lot.
When we come back, you can tell us how it was writing a book in a pandemic and also what's in that book. So stay right there, be right back. Welcome back. So let's talk about this book right in front of us, Enough of Being an Alien. Tell me about that, Anne. Is that how you saw yourself all these years?
Yeah. It's already hard to try to fit in and also get to do other things expected of you as a child, as a teenager, as an adult. So imagine coupled with that, you're also trying to fit in, just to have people accept you. You know, you keep asking yourself, what am I not doing? What am I not doing? Because you feel like you're giving it your all. You feel like you're doing everything you could just to be a good child, to be a good daughter, to be what you expected to be.
You felt like you're giving your all and it's not being reciprocated. How would you deal with that? What were your coping mechanisms?
I love watching a good movie. I love listening to the radio a lot. I love music. Yeah, so
that was your therapy?
Yeah, that was my therapy. It still is. Music. Yeah. So back then, you know, you have the radio on, you're doing chores in the house. So yeah, my music just takes me away. Yeah. And then also would read books. At school, I had this nice teacher in class 4. So she would let me be in charge of the books. We had like a little library. We used to carry it around. It was a metallic box. So she would let me have it. So I would take it to class, take it back. So I'd have some copies of story books to read.
So what inspired you to write this book or motivated you?
Well, I was looking for the answers and landed on autism. I was writing spoken word. So spoken word poetry was what I was doing. Every Wednesday I would just post it on Facebook. So a friend of mine called Marion. Marion is like, when are you writing as a book? Because I just love a book. Because, poetry is fine. I'm not saying you should stop, but what about a book? So I'm like, what plot? Because everyone thinks I should write a novel because I'm a literature student.
I see.
So everyone thought, she can do a novel. But for me, I was like, this could be a chance to tell my story. Yeah, and just like that, we start writing. I've not written a book before, so I did not know if I would have all the words enough for a book. And then here's a book, and guys are like, hey, that's too big.
How was the experience opening up yourself because this is your story, to the world? How was that experience, sharing yourself with the world?
I had to be ready to tell it, because once it's out there, there's no way I'll recall it. So I would write it and then give it like a week, and then I'll be like, should I scrap something off? Should I let it stay there? So that I don't like tell everything and cease to exist, or tell it without telling it. Yeah. So I had to keep checking. I felt like I was editing my own book.
What do you feel was the most vulnerable thing you've shared?
In chapter 5, I'm speaking about identity tussle, like how hard it has been for me to even just accept that I'm a girl. I really had a hard time accepting I'm a girl. Up to, I think, Form 2. So,
did you want
somewhere.
to be a boy? Or?
Yeah, I really wanted to be a boy. Actually,
really?
when stated just plainly like that, I really, really wanted to be a boy.
I see.
Yeah, it was easy with them. It was easy with, and then the society like made boys sort of have an easier way out. So like I also want that because I'm really doing my best, and it's not enough. Okay.
So
if I was a boy, it would have been easier.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So in chapter 5, we speak about identity tussle, and I go ahead and also tell how I got assaulted because maybe I was just not, how do I say it, like my antenna was not up there on how I'm supposed to secure myself as a girl.
No, it's never your
I
fault.
actually kept asking myself, what did I not do? What did I not do? What did I not do?
No, it's never
Yeah,
your fault.
so that was the most valuable thing I've written down.
I'm sorry about that. How did you heal from that? Or how was your healing journey from that experience? How old were you?
I was 18.
18.
Mm.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just like wanted to quickly get over it because I didn't want to be asked questions around it. I didn't want anyone to blame me because I know people will still blame you, as ugly as it was. Someone will still blame you. So the last thing I wanted was blame, because I was really blaming myself way too much for someone else to add on that. So I did not tell anyone, not a single soul.
Really?
Yeah.
Until later, or?
Yeah, until later. Yeah, some of my friends were too close, so I told them.
Your parents, your family, no?
No, my family, no. Because I did not know what to expect from them, so I had to keep it. You know, when you're different in a family, you're like, how do I even start telling this? Yeah, so just kept it.
So how did you recover from that?
What I did is I went looking at other stories, like what has happened to other people, how they've coped. And I know this is not good to say that when you think someone else has more trouble, that yours is not trouble enough. I know it's not good to look at.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Every
you're sort of
is valid. Yeah,
you're sort of like invalidating mine.
Your experience.
So for people who have been like gang raped and things like that, I felt like that was a more sorry state. So I felt like it would have been worse. So I just thank God that I could actually get out of that place and went home.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I went on the gratitude bit.
Okay.
Yeah, but again, I was a bit insecure around guys, especially if like someone would ring me to go to their place. I'd be like, can we meet in a hotel? Can we meet in a public place? You know, they're like, no, it's okay. You can come to my house. You can come to my house, and you know, like that's how my second boyfriend was like, you can come to my house. I'm like, are you sure?
How has that journey been? Relationships, the opposite sex, for you?
It's been hard because again, you feel like you're being a man and a woman in the relationship at the same time.
Is that so?
Yeah. Because if you feel that there's something you're not doing and you want to tell them, okay, I think you'd do better if you did this, it's sort of like...
You don't handle it well.
It's sort of like, he's supposed to be a man. There is a demisexual and sapiosexual. People who are attracted to people mainly because of how intelligent they are.
True.
Or how you connect emotionally for demisexuals. So it's like I've just been attracted to guys who are intelligent.
Okay.
So, and you can tell some percentage of that are also weird. So imagine a weird person with another weird person. It's hard.
When did you get your journey of accepting yourself? You said you wanted to be a boy growing up. Tell me about the journey of accepting and embracing who you are and how that was like, or how that is like, if it's still ongoing.
Oh yeah, I'm done being a boy.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm done. But I can tell like when this day dawned, like this is the exact time it dawned that I'm no longer pushing for that. But I got to a point like, whether I'm a woman or not, whether I'm a girl or not, there are things I can still do as a person. So for me, even sitting right here, I just see myself as a person. this gender thing crops up when people are like, women, you can go this side, or when you're going to washroom and you see the difference. So until those moments come up, I just walk around as An, because it's my name, and a person, not like a woman or a girl.
How was uni life for you, college? You said you studied literature. How was that journey for you and experience? Uni and also your first job?
It was a mix of feelings. Actually, at some point, I almost dropped out.
Why?
Like I was really trying to fit in, and especially going to a college I did not like at first to go, because I had two letters in the house, and Dad insisted I should go to the one that was closer home, because then I'll be sort of like sheltered. I could get back home, get stuff, or I could just call and someone would bring stuff over, things like that. But I wanted to go to the farthest. I wanted to study in Kikuyu, some Kikuyu campus, yeah. So I had to like fit in the institution, and just fit in with what goes on in college. You know, when you're weird, yeah. So it was too much work, just too much work. But just like in high school, the way to go through it was library. I spent all my life in the library.
Have you faced any stigma on this journey?
This
what has
far?
it been like? Yes.
This far, after coming out with autism, none. No one is like, you know. I think there is this sort of pity that surrounds like mental health, surrounds, you know, if someone is maybe diagnosed with a disease that is deadly or terminal, because sort of all of a sudden are pitiful. Yeah, so you go around here like, hey guys, what's up? You know, like you want to lie them up because it's them that are pitying you, and you're not even feeling sorry for yourself. So far I haven't had anything. No one has even called me to tell me, oh, I don't think you're autistic or stuff. Nothing so far. Yeah, I think guys are just quiet and they're like, really? She is?
So before that, it was just questions as to why you're different?
Mainly it wasn't questions, it was how they treated me.
I see.
Like if you go somewhere and you're like, everyone is sort of like forming groups and you're all alone. So you're like, yeah, I get it, guys, I do. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. Especially like for the games, the one I'm telling you, for like the school team. You want to play something like basketball for the school team, but they don't think you're cool enough for the team. So they won't pick you, and you're going to take. You're going to get it. It's not like you don't notice. Yeah.
You can see.
So yeah, I always see how people treat me. Yeah, and I get it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I behave accordingly or act accordingly after that.
When we come back, you can tell us how you coped with that and if it's still ongoing and how you deal. Yeah?
Okay.
We'll be right back. Welcome back. Before the break, you were telling us just your life journey and how it's been living and dealing and growing with autism. How are those moments like when you would feel sort of ostracized, whether it's from a group or a community or whatever it was? How would you deal in those moments? How would you cope?
If I could escape, like if it's something, if I could go away, then I would. But if I have to be there, then I'll just not care about whatever is going around me anymore.
Yeah. It wouldn't hurt you?
No, at first it used to hurt me. Okay. Then I got to a place I realized this is a thing. I'm different. It's a thing. So the early I get to adapt, the easier it will be for me. Yeah, so even if I had people like gossip about me or anything, even if I'm told, I wouldn't react. I'm like, okay. Yeah, I wouldn't react because the way you keep reacting, it's a thing that's going to be cyclic. It's not helping.
So what would you tell someone at home now? Could be a young girl or boy who's watching and they're probably going through the same experience. What would you tell them to do? How would you encourage them?
I wouldn't really encourage anyone to mask their autism. It's not good. You'll mask, you get to be an adult making your own decisions, and you have better chances to defend yourself. But it's going to be hard to undo the masking. So especially what happens with autistics, a child, a teenager, is bullying. Bullying is really grand on autistics because, you know, you like don't want to, you don't want to hurt another person just because they hurt you. And bullies really love that.
That's true.
But again, one thing that I did that I think works is just don't let it go to your heart.
Okay.
Because one thing I've realized, being a psychology enthusiast, is all these bullies have things going on.
That they're dealing with, that's true.
So the problem is,
hurt people.
hurt people. So the problem is, like, they're just getting it on you, and that's not the right thing to do. But you realize they're also in a sort of like a bad place.
What has been the hardest thing, or what have been the challenges for you dealing with autism or living with it?
I'll say employment.
Okay.
Yeah, because I really hate to remember that I'm broke when I'm broke. Because you have friends going somewhere, or you have like a party coming up, and everyone is channeling their contribution. You're thinking, I don't think I have anything to give. Again, there'll be another time. Again, there'll be another time. So at some point, you'll feel like you're sort of burdening your friends, burdening your family. And like I'm saying, again, with employment, you have to go for the interviews and things like that. And there's how they keep asking their questions a specific way, and the way you present yourself might not be how they want you to present yourself, so you'll not end up getting the job.
So have you been employed at any point?
I have.
What went wrong?
I have. I studied to be a high school teacher. I got trained as a high school teacher.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Guys are like, you should go to school. You should be teaching. It's easy to get a teaching job. They just don't get it yet. Like you have the pressure. You have all the colleagues that you're supposed to have a work relationship with. So if you keep changing the stations, you have to redo that again and again. So when I went for my teaching practice, it was the first time in that year, and it was like, oh, what if something goes wrong? What if this? What if that? What if that? There's that, like, I don't know if it's called autism paranoia, but you're really afraid of something, and it's really paralyzing fear. When other people look at it, they don't see the logic.
So you left, or were you?
So I went. No. You have to finish. Like, there's no way you'll graduate without teaching for a term. Yeah. No, I finished. Like, I had to come out. There's no way I'll stay. So I get another place in 2015. I teach. But then we did not used to have the TSC registration yet. Yeah, so I just teach for like 2 terms. And I felt like, what if I'm stuck here, just teaching, going back home teaching,
When you finished, did you go out seeking?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I just graduated. I was like, finally graduated. And then I put the certificate in the house and started looking for other things to do. That would not be as stressful as it might have been.
Tell me about Asparagus Syndrome. Did I say it right? How do you say it? You could pronounce it better for me.
I don't know if it's asparagus or asparagus. I hear both of the pronunciations out there.
So what is that you have that form of autism?
Autism is a spectrum. Okay. So being a spectrum, it manifests in people differently. So there are people who will be like really incapacitated by autism, and there are people who have autism as a gift, sort of like it really pushes them, to go and do. But again, all of us in the spectrum get to suffer those challenges that are sort of put down on the diagnostic manual, the social challenges, the communication, all this.
I see.
Yeah, so mine can be classified as Asperger's, because I managed to finish school, I managed to do that, I managed to do this. Yeah.
What does this book, having written this book, what does this moment mean to you, mean for you?
I feel like I've started sort of like a movement, or I've started sort of like a campaign on all the undiagnosed adult autistics out there, especially in Kenya, because you've seen the suicide rates rising, you've seen unemployment rising, and people have papers in the house. It's not like they don't. Just that the human resource is looking for something that they're not going to get. You're overqualified for a job that you don't get.
That's true.
Just because there's how you present yourself. So if we really looked more on the Asperger syndrome in Kenya, we'd find many people that we've really been misunderstanding all this time. Yeah. Like, I really pity those ones who get to be forced to get married. I really, really pity them, because that is all like, you're sort of stuck there. Yeah. Now you're going to have kids, and our wife, you're not even sure you like what. Those arranged marriage, they usually happen for autistic adults. You're 35 and everyone is wondering in the village why you're not getting married. But you have all this fears and issues surrounding your relationships.
How would you like, whether it's your family members or friends or community, how best can we support those who may be autistic?
I think where we can start is, if you know someone out there who's odd, someone out there who loves their space, because autism comes from some Greek word where someone is able to just be by themselves. It's about yourself. It's not so selfish, but you're able to just be yourself. If you're left in the world, you could actually sort of survive. So if you see people like that, I think it's time we started understanding them. Okay, I know someone could be lazy out there, but if you've seen them grow, you're a mom, you're a dad, you're a sibling to them. You've seen them grow. You can understand. You can say, this one has just been like this since they were young. I think there's something there struggling with.
Find something else that you can celebrate or highlight in them.
Other
than giving them the regular benchmarks, you say?
Yeah, the regular benchmarks for an autistic will never work.
Actually, as we finish this part, maybe you could highlight what other things can a parent spot to see, so they can know as a flag, oh, my child could be autistic. And lastly, what inspired you to come here and share your story with the world?
For the things they could spot, I could say, like, for children, especially 2 years, 2 years or about there, they usually love playing alone. Playing alone. Like you have a sleepover, every other person has come with your kid, but they're playing alone still. That could be a sign. And also there's repetitive behaviors, there's hand flapping, and actually there are kids with an head bang. There are many things you can check out. And then there's also you buy toys, but for them, instead of playing with them, they undo the toy. They undo the toy. But also it could also border on ADHD. Like a child, there's too much energy going on in them, or they're suffering anxiety or sensory issues. So you'll have to go to a professional
to be diagnosed.
For you to know.
Why did you choose to share your story with us here and put it down in a book as well?
I chose to tell my story because I'm really feeling sorry for people who are suffering, and for them, they haven't yet gotten to know that it's something they don't have control over. Many people want to just change their life by doing things, but then this one they're going to realize they can't do anything. Like, okay, you can't undo autism, but you can just change how you say it. If you learn that this is my condition, this is how I'm going to live in this world, it's going to be easier. It's really, really going to be easy. You're going to choose your career wisely. You're going to choose the people you hang out with. You're going to choose your partner well. You're going to choose an institution you want to work with. Like, there are many, many things you're going to choose if you get to know. And I'm hoping it gets to really reduce suicide rates.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your story and reminding us acceptance is the first key to having just an easier life. Thank you for being brave and raw and honest. I can't wait to read your book. I'm going to get myself one.
Thank you.
Maybe you can tell people where they can find you. Are you on Facebook? Do you share your journey online? Can they follow you there? Or no? They can buy the book.
They can follow me on Facebook. I have a page. It's a young page. I have like 200 likes so far. It's called The Cushite Girl.
The Cushite Girl.
It's my stage name for my poetry.
I see.
So The Cushite Girl. I'm also on YouTube. I have like 80 videos up. So I'm also on YouTube. I do spoken word there, so it's a lyrical video. You shouldn't worry if you don't see my face.
As we finish, I'm seeing enough of being an alien, autism, ADHD, and Christianity. As we wrap, tell me that part. What do you mean, and Christianity?
There's a picture at the back. These two are supposed to be me at the same time. So autism is fighting with ADHD and Christianity. Like, I feel like I am not autistic enough, quote unquote, because I could have ADHD too, and I'm also Christian. Many autistic, it's about no religion, do it your way, when you grow up, that is, when you're older, when you're an adult. So, but for me, I have regulations from church. Like, I'm a Christian, so I get to follow what the Bible says. as much as I feel I have all these impulses, I can't work on them. But there's someone out there who's just working on their impulses, because no one's going to ask a question.
Autistic experience, but also with a Christian angle to it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you don't relate it fully, then know that I am, okay, there's autism this side, then there's ADHD, then there is Christianity.
Okay.
You know, someone could have OCD, someone could still have ADHD on top of autism. So like once you have autism, then these other ones are not going to be there. There's also PTSD on top of the autism. So I feel people who have ADHD have a different kind of presentation of autism than people who have autism going with OCD.
Okay. Thank you for enlightening us and educating us a bit today. I hope you've learned a thing or two. If you want to learn more about this, her book, Enough of Being an Alien, is available. Get yourself a copy and we'll read it together. But thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for watching. I hope she's reached out to someone. Please do reach out to us. Our details are right below. We'd love to hear from you. Until next week, take care of yourselves. Keep safe. God bless you. And thank you, Radisson, for having us. Bye.